So Leon, we're back here for your final thought on what's happening in retail. And what is that?
I think for us, it's the increased emphasis on sustainability.
Okay.
Today, we are seeing significant actions by both manufacturers, but also by retailers to put in place science-based targets and to put in place clear goals over the next several years to be able to have a meaningful impact on climate change and other sustainability related, ESG related sorts of issues. So we are seeing now a renewed energy behind all that, and a number of retailers in particular responding here to this environment. Of course, it's all coming from the shopper. It's the shopper that is really driving an increased emphasis on sustainability. So that is something that I think is certainly here to stay, and probably picking up some steam here with retailers and manufacturers putting forth a lot of the goals that they have.
So you said it's coming from the shopper. Are these younger shoppers or shoppers across the spectrum?
You know, honestly, it's shopper. The data that we look at Westrock, it suggests that it's happening really across the spectrum. Certainly, younger shoppers will oftentimes express a bit more zeal for it. There's a little more vigor behind some of their assertions, but the desire to be more sustainable is something that actually increased, ironically, during the COVID period.
Right.
And that a lot of people take that as a surprise. But you know, for us, what we have seen is in light of all of the issues that people had with healthcare and people had with community disruption and work disruption and their own health disruption, and people, of course, dying as a result of this pandemic, people actually became more interested in preservation, preserving what we have, and that includes our environment. And so I think the desire to be more conservative and more preservative in the environment has increased. The other thing is packaging has become more visible to people. Mm-hmm. People are getting more packages delivered to their home because of COVID. They're also getting restaurant meals, prepared at the restaurant, but they're eating it at home, right? So you've now got a lot more packaging material, and so the visibility, therefore, of packaging and therefore of sustainability has actually increased over this period and made the shopper more aware of it and actually wanting to do something about it and recognizing the responsibility. So curbside efforts, I think, increasing, and also a number of retailers really stepping forward and saying we have to play a role. Most of what we sell is packaged,
right? Yeah.
And therefore we have to have a role in thinking about packaging and sustainability.
So you don't think then that COVID weakened sustainability?
No, ironically, I think it strengthened it, Nigel.
Okay.
I think it actually made it stronger because people said, my gosh, in light of all of these things that are being disrupted and are not in a state of stability, we've got to preserve what we've got. I've got to preserve my health. I've got to preserve my home. I want to preserve my family. I want to preserve my job. And in that spirit of preservation, I think sustainability became more important. It's perhaps something we didn't think would be the case, but I think it has been actually a result of the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, Leon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Appreciate
you, Nigel.
it. Enjoy the show.
Oh, thank you. Great to be here. Thanks again.
And the weather.
Can't beat the weather.